yeah, we can do so much good, but if something's going to keep traumatizing the body and keep affecting the body as a foreign enemy
That's
into
right.
the system, the body will keep reacting back with inflammation. Welcome to the Fusionary Health Podcast. It's me, your host, Dr. Shivani Gupta, and I have a special guest in store for you today. We are going to dive into living the low-tox lifestyle and the importance of reducing that total toxic burden in our life that is affecting our health on all these levels that we completely underestimate. So welcome to my special guest, Christy Winner.
Oh, hello, Shivani. How are you? Good to see
Hi.
you again.
Good to see you too. So
Yeah.
Christy and I met recently at a conference. We became fast friends because we think exactly the same around the level of toxic burden that's affecting our health on literally all levels.
That's
So
right.
Christy, will you kick us off with what led you to even caring or getting so far into the importance of this low tox lifestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a 57-year-old wife and mother of two. And, when I hit 50, I say I hit a wall. And I was unsure what was happening. Everything, I was doing all the right things and nothing was happening. And I went spiraling into weight gain, anxiety, depression, all the things that you hear that women are going through. And I didn't know where to turn. I live on a very small island. We don't have a lot of support here. In fact, none in the hormone support space. So I had to take myself over to the US and start to get testing, and that's where it began. But that's only part of the journey. So, the big part of it is figuring out how to navigate your hormones and get your levels done. And then after that, you've got to figure out the diet piece, nutrition. You've got to do the workouts. You've got to lift your heavy weights. And we all know that. But one piece of the puzzle that I think a lot of people are missing out on is that you need to finish the piece of the puzzle by low-toxing your home, the products that you're using, as well as on your body. And things that, the air quality in your home, there are so many different variables that are working against you. So, you can optimize as much as you want. But if you don't have these things in check, there's a lot of disruption that happens that you don't know about, but your labs are showing, hey, there's an issue here.
For sure. And so many of us are doing the work. Like a lot of women I know are working out, lifting, yoga, walking, eating really clean, like focused on food, focused on protein like it's a job. Then you go do HRT, like I did hormone replacement therapy over the last year. Got
love
that
it.
support too. Like you can get a lot on board. But in my new book, I wrote a whole chapter on, we can do so much good, but if something's going to keep traumatizing the body and keep affecting the body as a foreign enemy into the system, the body will keep reacting back with inflammation, saying, I don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on. But
that is the root cause of everything.
Exactly. Inflammation is the root cause. So I'm so excited to have this conversation because I have been obsessed with a low toxic lifestyle since pre-pregnancy. So when I was deciding, I'm going to enter this phase called motherhood, I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to incubate a child in this body, how do I make this the healthiest body ever?
Well done.
And so that's when I did a lot of research. And in that time, when I researched, I was like, wow, there's phthalates, there's BPAs, there's cleaning products,
parabens,
there's skincare products,
fragrances.
There's fragrance, there's our pans, there's what we store food in, and the list gets bigger and bigger.
It can be overwhelming for sure.
It can be so overwhelming. And the women around me who are my friends are always like, Shivani, we can't stress about things the way you do. And I'm like, well, think about it this way. There is this thing called bucket theory. So if we're going to keep filling our bucket so fast because the home we are living in is causing such a significant toxic burden, then all of a sudden, you're right. It doesn't matter how well I'm eating, how well I'm exercising, how much cool biohacking tools I have for detoxing. We're filling it so fast. So will you kind of kick us off with the order in which you think about this?
So the order which I think was, I like to clean out the environment in my home space, meaning the air quality. We live, like you, in an environment where, majority of the year we're trapped in an air conditioned home. Our windows are closed. Our winter months are amazing because we can open up the windows, we have the fresh air. But so even more of a priority for you to get that air quality under check. So there's, the majority of people's homes have either mold or they're exposed to all the chemical toxins that they're using to clean their homes. And then, you're closed up and you're confined. So not only are you susceptible to these issues, your family, your kids, your pets who are sleeping on that floor, you've just mopped with bleach and other, horrifically hormonal and endocrine disrupting chemicals that, and you wonder why your kids have eczema or, they have allergies, lung infections, things like that. These things are huge contributing factors. So the air quality is a big thing for me. So for instance, I got rid of all my toxic candles, as beautiful as they are.
Yeah.
And as expensive as they were, and lovely gifts. And but the great thing is for just about every single product out there, there is a low-tox or non-toxic option. Perfect. Right. Yeah. And so I've gone about, putting lists together of all of these options. And that's what I'm really passionate about, is finding the lower tox options.
Nice. Yeah. So let's talk about air quality for a moment. I, this year, decided to rebuild my podcast studio. I used to have these 3 bookshelves behind me. They were full of all sorts of cool stuff. We decided we need a new vibe, new year, new book, everything.
I love it.
And I installed this, ordered it off Amazon, handyman installed it. This thing off-gassed the worst smell for
the glue.
Weeks.
Was it glue?
I guess so.
Yeah,
it was
VOCs.
So scary. Every day I had to open the doors here, air this room out. I put air doctors in here. I was like, it took weeks.
I know.
And I was so shocked by it. I was like,
yeah.
I buy something to look cool and I forget, maybe I should have off-gassed this thing outside the house. Maybe I should have looked into a non-toxic glue to install it. I didn't think about it. I just delegated the task. And so how do you look at those things?
Well, it's so new in the space. And actually, there are designers now who are focused on low-tox design. So they'll come into your house and you'll have low VOC paint. Yes. Because VOCs are volatile organic compounds, which, are in your furniture, in your mattresses, your rugs, your paint. And so you're continually breathing that in on top of all the other chemical components. So, it's just one toxic soup within your home. What I have found is that, if you can, when you buy furniture, make it out of natural organic fabrics, wool, cotton, linen. I know it wrinkles, but it just depends on how far you want to go down the rabbit hole. But you can also, if you're buying furniture, you have a garage, unpack it, put it in the garage for a month or so. If you can, let it off gas out there. Okay. And so that might be something. But there are companies that are working really hard to help us navigate, those areas, especially in the paint realm, because, every single wall in our homes are painted, and that's quite toxic. So VOC free.
So I have 2 questions there. One, I love the garage tip. That's an easy one. Pull everything in there. I'd probably have to run a dehumidifier in the garage to even do it, because I'm in Florida. It's so humid here.
Yes.
But let's say it's winter, because I'm about to order a desk for one of my kids off of Wayfair, not really thinking about what's in that thing. But I could off gas it at least in the garage and let all the stuff come off at first before it comes into the home, into our space.
Wonderful.
When it comes to paint, a lot of us think okay, it's eggshell, it's like Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, whatever, it comes in. We're not thinking too hard about quality of VOCs or not in our paint. Is the VOC burden of the paint when you paint it, or is it long-term as well?
It can be pretty long-term. So, if you're using the run-of-the-mill conventional paints, then, you can smell it for quite a long time. It can be months. But there are, there's a company called, I think they're ECOS, and they specialize in non-toxic paint options with great color. So there are great companies out there that you can lean into, that do just as good a job without, giving you the toxicity that you really don't need.
Sure. Yeah. And those are the bigger expense ones. So let's take air quality down to a simpler level. when it comes
Mhm.
to our air quality, do you open your windows every week? I used to do that to bring fresh air in and change the air. And now I don't know if that's right.
Well, I mean, the air quality outside of our homes is a lot cleaner than the indoor, right? So I
Yeah,
think it's a really good idea. In the heat of the summer, it's so oppressively hot, and I just don't want that humidity in here in my home. So I do have air purifiers,
yeah,
which
for
you and
sure.
I love. I
Yeah,
love my air filters, which are put throughout all the different rooms in my home.
sure.
My daughter suffered with allergies. Whenever she comes home now, she has no issues. It's
Really?
a big deal. Yeah, it helps with eliminating mold, and about 99% of the, you know, it filters 99% of the what's in the air,
Yeah,
all the toxins in the air floating around. So I think it's an amazing, thing to have in your home.
for sure. I mean, any bedroom I have has carpet. Obviously, the
Yeah.
walls were painted. It was a decade ago when I bought the house. I have since
Carpets
learned.
carpets are very VOC high.
I know. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, your kid has allergies. You should remove the carpet." And I'm like, "We're pretty big carpet addicts around here. Everyone loves to lay on these thick carpeted
No,
floors."
sure.
So it's like a tough line, but I know that that one could benefit. But when we're talking about air quality, I've
Yeah.
learned in 2025 all about mycotoxins, and I'm going to
Mm.
have some. I already had these recordings of guests that I need to release, and I want to do some episodes on mycotoxins. And I'm literally going to go sign up for a mold remediation course because I'm in it to win it
That's
with this
awesome.
house, and I want to
Absolutely. Good
understand
for you.
the process so I can
Yeah.
understand the preventive plan before we have to do these processes.
I
But
love it.
I think we can assume that almost all houses have mold. And so you've got some level of mycotoxins in the air, VOCs, you've got off gassing from all your stuff. What is your like best plan forward if someone was like, what do I do then? Like, what's the easy way? I would say open your windows every week, which is
100.
what I used to do every Monday.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I would run air purifiers in every room that mattered.
Yep.
And if you can't have 10 of them, I totally understand. I just move them around between rooms. Like when
Yeah.
we're going to sleep, that's when I need these air
Agreed.
purifiers running.
Yeah.
Or we're spending all day in the family room, the family room gets one. It's not like
Yeah.
every room has to have one.
No, there's ways that you can, make it work for you, right? And some of them tend to be expensive, but like I always say, I think that I would rather spend that money on my health and prioritize that. That my husband's very lucky. I'm not a big diamond girl,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. You give
I'm not
me,
either.
give me a cooler of regeneratively farmed meat and grass-fed, grass-finished meat, and I'm very happy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
an air doctor, air purifier,
Yeah.
I will. Yeah, it's great with me.
Yeah, there's a couple great companies out there. And I know in our space, half of people lean one way, half of them lean the
That's
other.
right.
I actually bought both because I was like,
Yeah.
I want to understand it. I want to understand from a
Yeah, I did too.
science perspective and a personal perspective, which one I would order. And for now, I know that based on the mold project I'm in, the air doctors are working very well and
I've
they've
been very,
collected a lot
yeah,
out of the air.
that's great.
So yeah, I think it's an affordable but such a useful option to move forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very happy with all of mine and I will keep using them. And I mentioned them to all my clients all the time. I say, you need this, especially if you have a new build.
Sure, sure.
Get them running before you move in.
Absolutely. So explain to the audience why that's important.
Well, because, after my brother just built a house and I took all my air doctors over there and I put them in because of, there's so much. If you've done any renovations, how the dust collects all of those toxic particles that are in the air for months. But you can really help to alleviate that by putting these air purifiers in,
Sure.
of course, opening the windows. But this is the way that's really going to absorb.
Absolutely. Because we don't want to let too much humidity in. I've also learned like the name of the game
Well, that's just it.
is humidity. So then
Yeah.
it's tough because you're like,
Yeah.
well, I want to clean the air, but I don't want humidity, but I don't want to,
And mold
exactly.
to build
I
up. Yeah,
I don't want the opportunity for mold to decide to grow. So it's like
that's right.
a tough circle there. So we're talking about air now. Now,
Mhm.
can you bring in the conversation around cleaning products? Because
Yes.
cleaning products are oftentimes in our air. We don't think about it, but we're spraying it all over everywhere. And then it's on every single surface. So if someone is in your
Absolutely.
home cleaning or you're cleaning and you're cleaning all your windows, all the countertops, bathrooms, sinks, showers. I mean, I think of it as toxic chemical soup. And I think
And
it's
you're
so
right.
scary that we just
No,
have no awareness. Like, I can't even walk down that aisle of the grocery store.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
I can't do it. It's like,
No.
I feel like I hold my breath and run down that aisle if I have to, but
Yeah.
I generally 99% avoid it. So will you kind of talk into and speak into that topic?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of my things that I really highlight with people because they have no idea, that the simple swaps that they can make to really upgrade the quality of their life. Because if you think about it, let's take, your laundry, for instance. The clothes that you're wearing, the sheets that you're sleeping in, those are exposed to your skin. You're sleeping in those sheets all night long.
True.
And that is seeping in all those chemicals, the Tide, all of the name brand, that they smell lovely, but there's a reason they smell that like that, right? And it's not from essential oils, it's from chemicals, right? So, your pillows, you're sleeping on it, you're breathing it in, it's being absorbed into your skin. When you're wearing your clothes, it's being absorbed. When you're sweating and you're wearing your gym clothes and they smell great, they smell like Tide, but all that is being absorbed into your skin. It's just the levels of toxicity are unfathomable. But there are simple ways that you can, alleviate that, because it depends on your, how deeply you or how much time you have. And you can do it simply by using baking soda,
Nice.
white vinegar, and essential oils can clean up your whole home
Nice. Easy.
and your laundry. Yeah. If you want to do the DIY, which I tried, it takes a long time, but I'll tell you what, it's very cost effective. Think of all the bottles that you use to do your countertops, your shower, your glass windows, your floors, everything. How much money you spend on those toxic, chemical laden products that we have. It's ridiculous. But if you, substitute it for those and you added your favorite essential oil, you have a great time. But
True.
there's also, this is one of my favorite. It was online only, Branch Basics, but now you can get it at Target.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. It's one of my favorites. So this is a concentrate that I buy, and I have to have it shipped in. And they give you other bottles. So if you buy the starter kit, they give you all the bottles. You put in. Yeah, it's amazing. You put in, they have the recipe here for whatever rooms, and you put it inside the bottle, you add the water, and you have your cleaner for every surface of your house, including laundry. But there's also Molly Suds, which I love. Molly Suds is a great alternative for, to clean your clothes. Very clean, it smells great, and I love it. So there are ways to, you just have to look, you have to be aware.
A lot of times the complaint I get is this organic stuff doesn't work. So even my husband, if he's doing the dishes on the weekend, he'll say, what is this soap? It's not working. I'm like,
yeah,
it's a, organic one. And the other day he looked at me, he complained. I said, that's the most toxic stuff you can buy. That's Instacart, Costco. I didn't even look. All of y'all complain enough. I bought you the worst stuff. You guys use that stuff. I actually use a completely different product. I won't touch that stuff, but I'm sick of the complaints.
Yeah,
so
no, I know.
I think, are you able to find products that are as effective, or is it just that we got used to a sense of clean, and that sense of clean is actually just toxic?
I think both, actually, because, what I do now is my husband has, comes from the gym.
Yeah.
We know how men go. It can be quite a chore to clean their clothes. So, these may not be as powerful as we need to, mask the scent. So what I do is for an hour and a half or an hour to 2 hours, we'll put it in a bin of water, in a tub of water, soak them with, baking soda.
Perfect.
Yeah, for a couple of hours, and then throw them in the machine.
Awesome.
Takes out all the scent.
So like my kids' soccer clothes that are gross.
Yes.
You just pre-soak before washing.
Yes. Yeah.
Keep a bin
So
next to
baking soda you gotta have in your house. Baking, not just for baking.
I have so much baking soda everywhere.
It's so good.
I'm washing my clothes in it.
Yeah.
Everything on earth is like baking soda.
I put them in shoes.
Yeah. I mean, it's an incredible ingredient.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Molly Suds, Branch Basics. Are there any other cleaning products you like? Because that doesn't include soap and hand soap. And I know for a fact a lot of people are buying brands. I don't know if we should name them because it feels a little mean, but there's cool looking brands that call themselves natural and non-toxic. I've known
greenwashing.
Total greenwashing. brainwashing. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been
I
watching
know.
this since pre-kids, and I was like, really, you guys? Really? That's what we're
I
going to do
know.
here? We're going to
Yeah.
pretend to be clean and organic. And if I remember, I used to stand there in Whole Foods, 15 years ago, using my Think Dirty app, and I'd scan a
Yeah.
brand, and the brand
Yeah.
was marketed as so clean, and it would come out level 9 toxic. And I was like,
Shocking.
dang
Shocking.
it, guys.
I know.
So what are some of your solutions there if someone doesn't want to DIY?
That's easy. Like I said, Branch Basics is amazing. So they also have a hand soap that I buy,
Perfect.
and have around the house. Also, in terms of soap and body wash and things like that,
Yeah.
Dr.
Moving into
Dr.
skincare.
Bronner's. I love Dr. Bronner's. You can't go wrong. Tried
Yeah.
and true. It's been going on for years and years and years. I try to make everybody, if you like a bar soap, they've got it. If you like a body wash, they've got it. You can also wash your clothes with their concentrate.
Sure.
Their toothpaste is amazing. So it's kind of a one-stop shop, which is great. So I
Makes it
really
easier.
love Dr. Bronner's. Yeah. And deodorants. I mean, let's go into bathroom for a second here. So
let's do it.
deodorants, if you think of how thin that skin is under your arms and what's under there, you've got your lymphs. They're so
Yeah.
susceptible to getting jammed up, and then all kinds of issues begin, right? And
Yeah.
inflammation. So it's a simple swap. So swap it out for not only just aluminum free, you've got to look at all the other ingredients. And there are some really good non-toxic options out there, which I'll have on my website as well.
Nice.
But what really, I had a conversation with some people just recently. Toilet paper. Yeah, I'm going to bring it up. And you know what?
Go ahead.
It
Yeah.
needs to be said. Think of the
Yeah.
areas where you're using that multiple times a day. And if your toilet paper looks white, if your toilet paper's white, it didn't come from the tree looking white. They had to bleach it to get that color. Okay. So now you've got bleach, you've got microplastics, you've got chemicals that you are using every single day.
Yeah, multiple times
On your
a day.
children as well. Yeah, exactly. So, but again, I have a really great company that I use, non-toxic. It looks like it's brown toilet paper, but you know what? It's going to be very helpful and
Nice.
not cause the disruption. Yeah.
Do you have a roll there to show us, or it's just no?
I mean, I forgot to bring it. Do you want me to go get it?
No, it's okay. It's okay. So I've seen ads for this, and I was always like, brown toilet paper. How am I going to sell that idea in this house? I have a bunch of people living here called my children and husband who think
know.
I am nuts. But you know what? Sometimes you introduce an idea, and it takes time. Like in my case, I can honestly say it's probably taken a decade. I've owned my supplement company for a decade. And now when people are sick, they kind of look at me like, I think I should take a turmeric. And I'm like, you should have taken it last week when you felt sniffly. I already took it, and that's why I'm not in your position. And now they understand, maybe I need some vitamin C.
I need to have some of those.
Maybe I need some vitamin C. So let's dive into skincare a little more deeply, because I think we underestimate in Ayurveda. Well, at least we teach that your skin is another organ of the body.
That's right.
So
largest organ.
Exactly. It's the largest organ. And I teach that one self-care ritual that we recommend is full body Abhyang massage using organic food grade oils. And people kind of look at me like, can I use any oil? I'm like, you can, but I would never put like a seed oil, for example, or like a
canola
oil, vegetable oil, any like low quality oil on the body.
No.
We're into organic food grade oils, what you would cook with. So, before we started the recording, we talked about how nowadays our hormones we're putting topically. I just started adding a new progesterone on because I need a little more, and it goes right here at night. And then I go to bed.
That's right.
So
Same.
I know I'm absorbing medicine through my forearms.
Yep.
Why would I assume that when I wake up in the morning and I start not only brushing my teeth, which is in my mouth, but putting serum on, cream on, I wash my hair with shampoo, and then I use all those other products.
That's right.
How are we not understanding that each layer of products we're using with 20 to 25 chemicals in it is a layering on? And by the time we leave the house, we've already consumed 150, 250
That's right.
chemicals.
That's right.
How do you think of skincare? Because I know Dr. Bronner's is great. I have used it in the past. But what I think we find difficult is the intersection of efficacy and what we're using. So in hair care, sometimes I'm like, well, I need it to work. I need the hair to look good.
Yeah.
Or in skincare, I'm like, I need my skin to look great. I can't just use Dr. Bronner's on my face. Like that might not be quite
it's
enough.
too harsh.
So
Yeah.
how do you kind of navigate that with people?
Yeah. So, once again, I do the research. As you know, we go to all these conferences, we learn from the best, and and then I just dive in. Obviously I want the cleanest that's out there, but I also want it to work. I'm 57 and it's a battle, but I think that luckily there are some really good options and companies that care about what they're putting into their ingredients, and they want to obviously make them work. So, for instance, there's a great company. We go up to Vermont every summer. There's a great company located there that really care about skincare, and they're more of on the affordable side, which I love. And it's called Ursa Major. And I have been absolutely loving their products. I think
Nice.
that they feel really good. They moisturize really well. Do they have, serious peptide technology like all these ones are coming out? Not that I know of, but what they do give you is really good, clean skin that you can walk around without any makeup and feel great. Then the other line that I do love that is, sort of in the higher price range that as well is Young Goose, which I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
Love Young Goose. I think, if you can afford it and you really want to upgrade your skincare routine, they've got so many incredible options using the peptide technology as well as methylene blue now. And all these really exciting, ingredients, and of course, I really love the creators behind the brand too. So I think that's a really, really, I think they're very, very on it. So those are two that I lean into. I also do peptide GHKCU for my skin. So I use that topically at night. It's a cream, and then I also inject myself 3 days a week with the peptide.
Nice. Yeah, I think
to try and turn back the clock a bit.
Yeah, and I think it's good to kind of explain you can be really low tox in your lifestyle, and you can still play in the world of what's new and cool and coming out. Like it's almost like high-lowing it, right? I can buy this dress off Amazon, and I can wear it with really beautiful, gorgeous shoes that I happen to own that are my more long-term purchase.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
So we can do that with our low tox as well. We can really start to prioritize. Like for me, I actually prioritize very heavily in the kitchen. To me, kitchen first. I teach so much about food and gut health. So that to me is like my first law is how is that kitchen going to keep toxins out of my life? Then I'm caring about cleaning products. I do care about skincare, but if I'm really honest, I'm a little bit more on the what's going to perform and make me look good over what's clean. But an easy
but you can get both.
Yeah, which is huge. That's why I wanted to have you on the podcast. I was like, teach me. I'm curious. I want to know what brands you like. I have found some. I have been going and researching. I have certain like skincare products I've been buying where they're better. And then I think they're even better than that. So, so moving into the kitchen now, what are some of your habits around kitchen that are low tox that people should understand?
Well, first and foremost, what I did was I went out and changed out all of my pans.
Yep. For sure.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Pans, Pyrex.
Yeah.
Microwaves, stove.
I mean, there's lists, right? So you get rid of all your old toxic pans that were causing serious disruption. If you see a scrape on your pan and that paint has come off, that's going into your body. It's because you've ingested it, right? But there are options. You've got ceramic, you've got cast iron, stainless steel, and a lot of people are turned off because they say it's harder to clean. But you know what? You just have to learn how to cook with them. It's just a different way to cook, but it's easy. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Cutting boards, right? Stop with the plastic. You cut into that. Those little microplastics are going into your food. Every time you cut, it's cutting into the plastic. That plastic's, shedding. So wood, opt for a real wood.
Yeah.
Tons of them out there. What else?
I don't store any food in plastic.
Never.
It's always cooked. It's always put into glass. Of course.
Glass. Wax paper, forget it. You should be using parchment paper. So people would wrap their cheese in plastic.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. Wrap it in parchment and put it in your drawer. Right. Let it breathe. Let it not get moldy, but also, you're not going to be exposed to the plastic. So I rarely use plastic in my house at all. Maybe to store dry goods or something, not even, but no, I have glass. Glass containers, everything.
Yeah, I switched my pantry to glass as well. I bought all these
That's
jars at
amazing.
Target. And then at one point I was like, oh, OXO at Costco looks so good. And I bought them because I was like, oh, these look pretty. Whenever my family visits from Houston, I'm a Texan girl. And in the South, we have this like idea of a beautiful home. So whenever they roll in, they're like, can we redo your pantry? And I'm like,
Oh,
sure.
no.
Since y'all have such strong opinions, I am an entrepreneur. I'm a little too busy to care
Yeah.
about the aesthetics of pantry, but fine. And I barely eat out of the pantry. I don't eat like snacks. I'm eating fruit. I'm eating healthy. Like
Right.
everything I need is in the fridge. So if
Yeah.
you have a goal there, go for it. And so I remember my sister went and bought actually OXO from Costco, all these plastic jars. They were beautiful, matching,
Yeah.
cool. It's a cool system. And a couple months later, I was like, I can't take it. Like my ethics says this was stupid. It has
Yeah.
to be in glass. And she was like,
Absolutely.
okay, fine. You can have your ugly glass jars. So
I
it's
think they're actually
interesting.
prettier, but
I do
yeah, no,
too.
I did that. As I said, when my brother moved into his house, I went and redid his whole pantry, and and it just sets you up for success, I think, and also I also cleaned out all of the processed foods,
Yeah.
and we lean into much cleaner brands. For instance, there's simple things like if people like a good snack, you love your Doritos. This is an amazing company, Siete. Everybody
Yeah.
knows them. Everybody should be, swapping out their Doritos for this. There's no
Look at
dyes.
those lime chips.
I know,
They
so
added
good.
beautiful products and they're gluten
Yes,
free.
they
So it's one of the only brands I have found at the health food store that's actually clean. Have you noticed that? You go down the chip aisle. I am a nachos girl. 'Cause
95% is just
they all have
rubbish.
seed oils. I'm
I
like,
know.
oh, organic chip, sunflower
I
oil,
know.
organic chip, palm.
I
Every
know.
oil that's bad.
And I see all
Oh,
the moms and they're putting it in. I'm just like, but I don't want to be that person, but
sure.
my gosh.
But Siete is like the only brand I have found
Yeah.
that's clean. And I'm like,
No,
what?
Boulder, it depends on the oils that they use. So Boulder's has some of their line, which is in olive oil or avocado oil, which is a
Okay.
good swap. Okay.
Nice.
And then I'm into sort of more of the carnivore snacks too. So the beef sticks, which are
Okay.
delicious.
Cool.
And Beefy, I don't know if you were at one of the conferences, but this company called Beefy was there.
Okay.
Unbelievable. And Lineage has great. So grass-fed, grass-finished, snacks for the kids are amazing too. Put them in the lunchbox and,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. So when it comes to the kitchen, we talked about the Teflon pans.
Yeah.
I think the only place where you need Teflon pans is with eggs. Don't you have a hard time cooking eggs? Are you able to do it in like a caraway ceramic
Caraway.
bowl?
Caraway's easy. Yeah. Yeah.
I
I mean,
somehow
it's just,
glue the eggs into the pan and cause a big old problem.
even with butter
Yeah, I cook with butter.
or
Maybe I need to
ghee,
use more butter and more ghee.
I think you need more. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you
maybe I'm
probably
too
need more because
frugal
it's
with my.
never, I use it all the time and it's not a problem.
Really? Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try again this weekend. I keep 2 Teflon pans in
Yeah.
the thing for myself for eggs because I'm like, how am I gonna win at eggs in this?
Oh, and utensils. Get rid of those black, hard, covered utensils because obviously those are going to leach into your food when they're heated. So wood or stainless steel. Obviously, you're not going to use the stainless steel on your caraway. You don't want to scrape anything up, but
Right.
you're going to lean into the wood. But, it's simple things like that make a big difference over time for sure.
Yeah, I really do think of it as like in the right now, what is this one purchase going to do over multiple years?
Yeah.
That's why I love the kitchen. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I buy Pyrex glass and I keep a lot of it and I don't have to replace it that often until the
That's
lids
right.
all go bad. And you can actually just reorder the lids from Amazon per
Yeah.
size. Then
Yeah.
the pans. If you maintain your pans nicely, they last a long time.
That's right.
The idea of the silicone utensils, yeah. Every time I've had them, the edges are all burned, peeling, ugly. And every time I look at them, I'm like, that's gross. So I have a whole
Gone
wood
into your
set
food.
as well.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a
And
simple
then,
swap and that's not expensive.
yeah. And then I think also nowadays, we oftentimes want speed in our own kitchen, in our own lives.
Efficiency.
So on the weekend, sometimes I'll have paper plates out for the family. But I won't let anyone put a hot food on a paper plate. And
Okay, that's good.
will you share why that's important? Like
That's a good compromise.
why we shouldn't be using so much
You know,
one-time use paper goods and plastic goods in the kitchen?
Well, Exactly. Well, because, it goes into our environment, right? So it's all about the wastage that we're trying to lower and minimize. For instance, in plastic bottles, I don't use any plastic bottles at all. We used to have one of those big 5 gallons, and you'd have the fountain. I now have filters. I have a filtration system under my sink. Bought it
Nice.
on Amazon, put it under there. It comes out of the sink and it comes out of my fridge. I also, this is really good, I have filters for my sinks for my children, myself. So when I'm brushing my teeth, that saves me, and also
Sure.
my shower. So, there are these amazing ways that you can filter the water throughout your home to make a big difference as well.
For sure. I remember reading that in my county, they were about to put like trash dump above the water table. And they were like, it's not going to be a problem.
That's terrible.
I was like,
How
you're just
how
putting
how
anything
can they
above our
say
water.
that?
Yeah, I was like, are you guys insane? Like, are you just
Oh
trying to
God.
kill us? And then
Oh, that's frightening.
I've heard it at different I usually go with my family to do these big detoxes. So I was at Hippocrates Health Institute once, and this speaker came and he spoke about water, and he said, do you know how we achieve clean water in America? There's 2 chemicals, and you're taking these to the correct ratio. And as long as they're in the correct ratio, the
Hmm.
water is safe to drink or to consume.
It's crazy.
Safe just means clean enough that you're not going
Yeah.
to get sick. But we
Right.
also know that in America, we have a pretty large, heavy use of drugs. And so all the pharma, all the medications, all the drugs that people
That's right.
consume, oftentimes they flush them down the toilet. I don't understand why that habit exists. It's ludicrous to me. Throw it in the trash can. But
Hmm.
because people are flushing it down the toilet, it's coming back through.
That's right.
And we're
That's
all
right.
consuming drugs we didn't choose to take. I think that's
Hmm.
pretty insane. We've
Hmm.
got all sorts of chemicals, all sorts of things in there.
Microplastics galore. Microplastics.
I didn't
We've
think of that.
It's sad, we have microplastics coming out of the rain. When we were little, think about it. You used to stand under the rain and open your mouth and let the rain come in, right?
Yeah,
I won't do that anymore.
yeah. It's kind of crazy, the
Our
toxicity within.
oceans, our oceans are full. The fish are full of microplastics. It's so sad.
That's
Yeah.
so true. My daughter's a
So
big environmentalist on that topic.
so if I can mitigate, using a lot less plastic in my home, I'm always carrying this around. This is what I give my clients. This is the first step in their protocol to living, their low-tox journey, is to carry this. You will not be drinking out of plastic.
For sure. I
Simple,
agree.
simple, simple.
Yeah, just carry a reusable water bottle. That's one. So every morning I make my waters in always a metal cup, and then that's how I'm starting my day. That's a simple one. That's buy
Simple.
a $10 or $20 bottle, use it every day forever.
Yeah.
It should last you. So
Yeah.
I love those swaps because those are easy lifestyle habits and swaps. When it comes to your water, do you
Mhm.
have a full house system and then an under the sink system? Or are you doing the under the sink and then you're putting filters on each sink?
So yeah, no, I don't have a whole RO system. I do have filter under the sink, which is solely for the kitchen. And then I put the individual filters on myself. It's quite easy. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And I attach them to my sink and the shower, and I get new filters sent to me every few months to swap out.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's really easy. And my daughter, I gave her one to take to her apartment in Canada, so she uses it well.
Got it.
Yeah. I think it's really important. And it
Yeah.
also makes your hair feel better when you're using filtered water in your hair.
Totally. So water and air to me are such big ones.
Yeah.
It's like a daily and a constant. So I think about those a lot.
Mhm.
Again, because I'm going through a year of mold, I'm thinking about them a lot more than ever. But when we talk about water, people talk about RO, reverse osmosis,
Mhm.
all these things. Do you think it's also bad to strip too much out of our water?
I do. I mean, I do. If you're wanting to drink it, though, there are ways that you can mitigate that, but it's by simply just adding your minerals back in. So what I do is I add a very high quality salt into my water daily, or the electrolytes, really good, clean electrolytes that I use a couple times a day, that will give me, the support I need, because, your water does not get absorbed into your cells on its own. It needs those minerals to support that journey of getting into your cells. So, you can drink all the water you want out of the sink, but if you're not putting those minerals back in, you're not hydrating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
properly.
tough. So
Hmm.
on your website, it sounds like
Yeah.
you are constantly updating these swaps
Yes.
that we can do, which I'm really
Yeah.
excited about because I I go to a lot of the conferences you do, but I'm going to a lot of the health longevity optimization conferences. And in those, what you're seeing now is such a movement towards big tech. It's like red light, infrared
Yeah.
saunas, and
All the
um,
noise.
PEMF mats, and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And
Which is
even I have
great.
it's great stuff. It's good and
Great
useful.
tools. Yeah.
But kind
Yeah.
of how do you think about it in terms of your pecking order of what matters when it comes to this lifestyle? How do you prioritize it with a client? Like, I'm gonna first approach this, and this.
Well, I think starting simply. So I like to take out the overwhelm
Sure.
because it can be so overwhelming when you're starting. And then, if you're thinking about all the other modalities, oh, I have to have this and this. No, you don't. So what I start with is simply getting up in the morning, right? You're going to, I do a cocktail every single morning with vinegar, water, lemon, and salt to rehydrate from the night. I
Nice.
go outside, I stand on the grass, and I look at that light. That is a great form of biohacking, if you will, right?
Totally.
So that's going to set your circadian rhythm. It sets your tone for the day. You're getting grounded. And, use a great way to start the day. So this is one of the tools that I use to start them on this journey. It's simple. It's free,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And then from then, we build this plan to get your diet under control. You're eating the right way. Women need to eat differently to men. Are you fasting? Are you fasting too long? We need to really optimize their workouts. Those little pink weights aren't going to do it for us ladies.
For sure.
No,
No.
they're not. It didn't do anything for me for years. And, at 57, I'm in the best shape I've ever been in because I'm lifting heavy.
Nice.
And I was always afraid for years and years and years. So, and then you throw in the Low-Tox living piece, but that's slowly. So I can go into people's homes, and depending on how deeply they want to go, I've
Sure.
gone really deep over the years, but that's not for everybody. It's overwhelming, especially moms with kids in the house. So, we start with what they're prioritizing, and is that snacks for their kids? Is it simply changing out and making swaps inside the kitchen for tools that they're using every day to cook with? So we start small with the basics, and then we add over time, because these small, steps lead to habits over time, which leads to a lifestyle. So that's where we want to get to. We want to get to a lifestyle where this is just part of their routine and they don't have to think about it anymore.
Brilliant.
And
And
they feel better for it.
what's great is a lot of the companies you're talking about are great swaps that are effective. And that's
Yeah.
important nowadays because
Yeah.
we're not going to have so much tolerance for, okay, it's organic, but now it has no fragrance to it at all. We want some sort of happy smell coming. We want it
Sure.
to feel like it's working. We want it to feel a little
Of course.
luxurious, or like it's identifying like who we are in the product, right? There's a whole
Yeah.
psychology to it nowadays. But I think it's great that it's easy, because for me,
Yeah.
I need a lot of things I can just operationalize. What can
Of
I
course.
put on auto ship that will arrive, that we will just be using, and then we're not going
I
to
love
forget
a subscription. Yeah.
it. Exactly, especially for these things where
Yeah.
I like that Branch Basics is at Target, because half my
Amazing.
life is existing in Target Drive Up. I'm every third
There
day
you go.
there picking things
Add it
up.
to the cart.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. If it's not convenient, oftentimes you'll fall off the habit.
Yeah.
And so you kind of need that convenience piece. In
Absolutely.
terms of the Low-Tox lifestyle, is there any topic we didn't cover today?
Gosh, I think we've pretty much nailed it all. I'll have a lot more on my site once that's launched in the next week or so, and all the answers will be there to all the
Nice.
questions you have, and people are always, welcome to email me or message me, and I love helping. That's what I love doing. I love helping people find, alternatives and set them on their journey as well. So, what else?
We went over
I think we've gone over
bathroom,
everything.
even toilet
Bathroom.
paper. We
Yeah.
went over
You're
skincare.
welcome.
We went over kitchen. We went
Food.
over air quality. We went
Yeah.
over water quality. We went over food quality.
Seed
Um,
oils.
Seed oils is a big one. Do you want to speak
one.
about your thoughts on
Yeah.
seed oils?
Absolutely. It's a big part of my journey was eliminating the very highly toxic seed oils that just disrupt your mitochondria on a serious level, cause serious levels of inflammation within your body. And it's such a simple swap. It just means getting rid of that canola, getting rid of that peanut oil, any of those seed oils, and swapping them for easy alternatives that we find in the food store. You can find anywhere. You do have to be a little cautious. So you're talking olive oil, should be single origin, should be in glass container. And, and it should be, more of a darker bottle for sure. Then there are coconut oil I use as well. I do my sweet potatoes I use, and my rice. I cook my rice in coconut oil. Butter, ghee, beef tallow I love. I love my eggs in a little beef tallow. I also use it on my face, and my husband uses it on his face. Not the store-bought one that I'm going to use in the kitchen, but there are products out there that smell a lot nicer, and I like them because I think they're quite moisturizing. I don't think they're going to turn back the clock, but I do think I like that that they're sort of a natural way to moisturize.
Nice. And I know when you were here, because you were in Miami when I met with you,
Mm-hmm.
you were worried about and you were thinking about food and like, I'm getting this food, I'm getting that food, I'm going to pack up all my food. So how do you think about food sourcing? Because I loved hearing how you think about it.
Yeah, well, for me, it's quite a chore. I live on an island where it's very hard to find, in terms of meat and protein, which I prioritize. It's almost impossible to find it here. When they ship it in, it's your generic brands that are not, grass-fed, grass-finished. There's no regenerative farms. So I tend to come over and stock up my freezer for a few months, and I have to come back and forth. But it's great because, but that's how I prioritize my health, is by buying best quality that I can. And, in the States, you have access to all these farmers markets. You have local farms. There's one, Southwest Farmers Market, what's it called? Southwest Ranch.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Raw milk, raw dairy. I go and get raw yogurt. So whenever I'm there, I'll put it together and bring it home. It's incredible. And also you have great restaurants popping up now. Pura Vida. You have, all these incredible Sweet Green. The people and the restaurants that really care about the ingredients that they're putting into their food. No seed oils. Yeah. It's a big deal. And I wish more people would lean into them and support them, because the more they support them, the more they'll grow, and the more, other restaurateurs will look and say, hey, there's a market for this here. Maybe we could expand in another way. So, I'm all about, good quality food for sure. We are making great strides here. I work with a small food store here, and I give her lists, and she's actually really accommodating, and she'll bring stuff in. So, a lot of us locals will have options to shop and have, some of the cleaner options. Like I got this Molly Suds there. I was very happy that she brought that in. One less thing I have to bring over. So, there are ways around it. It just depends on how committed you are. I'm seriously committed.
Right.
And I want to help people just get a little more on board as well.
So do you think of it as like cleaner red meat, cleaner poultry, cleaner seafood, cleaner dairy, and then going on down that line, cleaner produce?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, protein is a building block, so it should be as clean as you can possibly get. Chicken, dirty bird. I mean, we've all seen the videos of how they process the chickens, right? And the cows, but they, there's a huge vat of, was it chlorine that they wash the chicken meat in before they package it. I mean, there's just no need for that. So, all these amazing, small regenerative farms, you can get them shipped to your door.
Wow.
You guys are lucky.
Yeah, we are lucky.
You guys are lucky. People can get a whole cow.
We don't do any of it. It's funny, right?
But you know what?
We want the convenience of like, go to the grocery store. Is it there? Is it not there? And I think what you're highlighting is take 5 more minutes and source, because you can still have it delivered to your door. You can still have it. Yes, you can.
Look, you have Sprouts, you have Whole Foods. They do have the better options. You look for grass-fed, grass-finished. You can have it sent to your door. Wild Fork is another place that I use. Wild Fork Foods. They've got great options. So really, There's no excuse if you really want to lean into top quality meats,
Nice.
especially chicken, which can cause all kinds of issues as it is. But eggs, another huge source. There's so many great options out there now if you don't want to have your own chicken farm, which I would love.
Yeah, no, you're right though. I mean, when I go to my Sprouts, I have a Sprouts pretty close to where I live. It's a wall of options. And so I already know which one's like my free range, like everything free eggs that I can get. But I have met a lot of people who now source direct from eggs, like local farmers who will give them the eggs.
Oh, I love that. I love that option. I think it's the best option. And then also, you got to read the labels.
Yeah.
So, not all cereals are the same. If you're looking for a healthy option, they can greenwash you.
Yeah.
Breads, there's a lot of sugar in them. Just read the labels. Oat milk. I mean, honestly, I think it drives me nuts. People, and bless them, they think they're doing, a great swap because they're not drinking dairy. If you have an intolerance to dairy, I get it. But if you don't, grass-fed dairy is awesome, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to lean into a nut milk, just make sure it's nuts and water. If you look at a lot of these name brands, oat brands, they've like 15 ingredients.
It's crazy.
You shouldn't be drinking that. You should not. And the creamers, oy vey. Yeah.
I know. A lot of times if I go to Whole Foods and I've got like the hour and I'll be like, okay, I want to pick up some new things for the kids. Let me look at the pancake mixes. Maybe there's a new, better brand out, and I'll pick up what I'm buying and then I'll pick up some of the others. I'm like, all of you guys have so many ingredients in pancakes.
Yeah.
The one I'm buying has 5 ingredients. Like, what's
and
wrong
seed
with all
oils.
of it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Seed oils.
And
In a mix.
Ordering, buying. I mean, we're such a buying consumer country in the United States. I'm American born. I get it. I am one too.
It's great.
But if we're not going to pause for the 5 seconds and just look at the labels and understand what we're consuming.
Well, especially if you have children in the house.
Yeah.
Make it better for them. One of my greatest achievements is that my children have a much better leg up than I did when I was their age. They're hitting the gym. They are batch cooking, right? Yes. They are making good choices. I have a daughter who doesn't drink. That's on her. I didn't force her not to drink, but she just didn't like the way she felt. Yes. My son's in college. That's a whole other, he's got to live his life. He's going to have fun, but he's balanced. Right? So I think you set your kids up for this kind of lifestyle and this success. And, great, Halloween's coming. Let them have Halloween. I get it. But, I just don't bow into when they say, oh, let them be kids.
Yeah.
I've seen too many kids that are really unhealthy.
Yeah, and sick.
And sick.
Pretty sick kids nowadays.
Yes.
And
yes.
You mentioned some issues, allergies, eczema, all these things.
Learning issues are on the rise. We've never had,
And people assume it's not tied to food. It's not tied to habits.
No.
It's not tied to a low-tox lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I wrote a book on pregnancy over a decade ago now. And when I published that book, I remember many mothers came to me and said, my kid has, and they'd name the problem. And I'd say, guess what? Cut all the chemicals out of your home and you'll see a shift. That kid is on the floor. That kid is licking his toys. That kid is breathing. They're so little. They process chemicals completely different than us. They impact them more. And so,
and your pets are not living as long as they used to.
Wow.
Because they're licking things off the floor. You got bleach. I remember, in the Bahamas, the Bahamians love bleach, right? They clean everything with that. Wow. Even outside, I saw them spraying the rocks of someone's property to get the moss off. Bleach going into the soil, we have a small boat out there and we clean it with baking soda and water because I don't want those contaminants going into our canal.
Yeah, for sure.
Start cleaning your boats. Think about how many boats you have in Florida. Stop it with the chemicals going into all the water system.
True.
And our oceans.
Come back to you.
Yeah.
And it's interesting what you said, children and pets. Sometimes when it comes to making a change as women, we care about ourselves, of course, but we care about others more. So in my case, a good way to leverage for me to make a change is impact my child.
Yes.
And for others, if your kids are grown and gone, it wouldn't be your pets. So I love that you mentioned that. So for those of you listening today who are like, Shivani, I know you're so obsessed with this topic, who has time or money to make all these swaps you're talking about today? I don't know if I'm going to like how they smell or how they work. Think about your children. Think about your pets. Think about your grandchildren. Think
Think
about
about your health.
yourself and your own
Hmm.
health and what you're struggling with your health, maybe your
Yeah.
hormone health, maybe
Yeah.
your gut health, maybe your brain health, and understand that a low tox lifestyle is the foundation
That's right.
underneath your body being able to tolerate and be resilient to everything else that comes at it.
100%. You nailed it.
Because in Ayurveda, we teach you if the foundation isn't strong, sorry, life's going to throw a lot of curveballs at you. How are you going to handle the additional stressors if
That's
the
right.
body's already under so much stress?
Exactly right. All those levels of inflammation, they just keep, accumulating over time, and you're doing all the right things. But if you're not getting this dialed in, it really matters. And I just really wish people would just take the time and educate themselves, or, join me. And I'm happy to help in any way I can. I think it's that important.
I love that. And I love that you kicked us off with calling it the missing puzzle piece.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times we are working on the puzzle. We're doing the things, like you said, but this puzzle piece, this last piece, could be that final piece.
Yeah.
Reduce that total inflammation, that total toxic burden. And
I mean, to be totally optimized, if you will, and feeling your best, you've got to nail that as well. So, you've got to nail your sleep. You've got to nail your mindset. You've got to improve your mindset. You've got to do the workouts and movement. You've got to nail your nutrition. And all of that is supported by the low toxic lifestyle that you have in place as well. So it creates the whole picture. On top of that, you can add your red lights and, all those other modalities, but you got to get yourself in this place where your body is open to, those other modalities down the road. But optimizing takes, it's those 5 simple steps.
I love
Not
that.
maybe simple, but yeah.
Yeah. 5 commitments to yourself.
Commitments. Yeah. Yeah. I think you're worth it. Right. Especially mothers, we've done so much for our kids and our family, and we've gotten them to a place. I'm an empty nester. My kids are thriving. Why can't I?
Right.
And my husband. Yeah. And my husband. And my husband is 60 in the best shape of his life because we're working together. And thank God I have a partner who is working with me. In the beginning, he was like, "Oh my God, how far are we going?" And he saw how I was feeling and how I was moving, and my sleep improved by 2 hours more a night.
Wow.
And he's on board. He's on board, baby. And yeah, I'm so proud of him.
Amazing. Well, I have loved having this conversation with you today, Christy. You are awesome. I always love
Thank you.
learning from experts like you who are doing all that research, who are putting together the info, saving us the time so we don't have to go dig into the topic so deeply. And I love
That's what I love to do.
I love that you make it as easy as swaps. Like, hey, you're going to use a laundry detergent. Here's a cleaner one. I've done the research. I always ask people, like, what were the ones that didn't work? And then show me the one that did work. So I understand, like, did you do the research and really compare for efficacy and it worked?
Yeah. Yeah. So, as I said, I don't promote or talk about things that I don't use and I haven't experienced myself.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's part of putting in the work. Yeah.
Exactly. So will you share where everyone can find you, where they can learn more, and where they can get this info on all these swaps?
Yeah, sure. So I do have a page on Instagram, which I share my journey, my wellness journey, which is called Low-Tox Winner, my last name. And then my website, Christy Winner Wellness, will be coming out in the next week or so, where I will be sharing, all my favorite low-tox items, categorized, as well as I offer a program to help people on their journeys as well to optimize their wellness and longevity.
I love that. I think it's so beautiful that you've done all this. It has been so lovely chatting with you today.
Thank you.
Check out Low-Tox Winner on Instagram. Check out her website. By the time this airs, it will be live and up. And I'm so excited for you guys to start using some of these great products that she recommends. So definitely check out her website. And thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, my love. I appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
Yes. And for everyone listening in today, please share this episode with someone you love. The whole point of this podcast is so that we can all learn together, grow together, improve our health together, and evolve together. So for more info on the Fusionary Health website, you can visit my website at drshabani.com. Stay well, everyone, and see you next week.